In 2017 is when I was living with my parents right before I joined the Navy. I was 18 around the time. This was my first experience with sleep paralysis and the hag. I was in my bedroom. It was pitch black. The only illuminating light that I had was from the window. With sleep paralysis, your eyes are open, but your body can't move. I was looking at the bottom of my bed. I could see this bright green light. It kind of looked like toxic waste, like in a movie. That's kind of the color it was. I was looking at it really, really intensely, and I still couldn't move. I had the mumbles, like trying to get out words, like help, because I couldn't move. This was my first time ever experiencing this, so this was so different. I could see that this girl or this woman started to form. She had her fingers up on top of her mouth, and I could see her knuckles, but not her fingers. She was laughing. I could feel my body gain a little bit of life, and I just kept rocking. Then I finally jumped up because I was so mad. I was like, who's in my house? When I got up to her, she dissipated. That was my first experience ever with the so-called hag. I didn't tell anyone because I didn't know really what it was. My dad was always the kind of guy, ghosts aren't real, but he had a very big understanding of what the supernatural was. I could always understand. We had cousins who had played with a Ouija board back in the 80s. They were asking it questions. They asked the question, when are we going to die? The Ouija board gave them a date. The date the Ouija board gave them, they crashed into the back of a semi. Another semi crashed in the back of them and sandwiched the car. My dad, ever since that happened, he doesn't like to talk about the paranormal. He knows it's there. He doesn't want to ever talk about it. It was a very taboo subject growing up. Me and my sisters, we would talk about it sometimes, but not like that. My sister, she traced back our lineage. There's some witchcraft throughout there. We've never really gotten into anything like that. In 2018, 2019, I met my husband. We had started dating. We both got stationed up in Washington. When we were moving up there, he was like, hey, I'm going to get a house with our friends. Do you want to come move in? So we got this house. It was in the woods, pretty much. It was really nice. It had a really big backyard. The vibe of the house was always weird. It always felt like somebody was in there watching you. You hear the creaks. There was one night I remember I woke up. Our bed was against one wall, and we had a walk-in closet, and then the bathroom was right next to it. The bathroom had this white mist coming out of it. It was wrapping over my husband. I looked at it and I thought it was so weird. There's no fog outside. There's no windows open. There's no shower on. We don't even have a humidifier in the room. I was like, I have to be dreaming, but I could see it moving. It was moving towards me. I just said, I'm going to go to sleep. I don't want to wake him up. He's going to just shrug it off. He's half asleep. The next day, I did tell him, I said, hey, last night there was this mist over you, and I don't know what is going on. I've never seen this before. I went into the little town that we had to this magic shop. I need to get some sage, the white sage, so I can cleanse my house. And I need something for a protection crystal. They given me some type of protection crystal. The lady was like, oh, you're in the military. I said, yes. And she said, well, because you're around all these bases, these bases bring a lot of negative energy. You're bringing that home with you. I got these crystals. She sleep with them under your pillow, and you should not feel anything. I was pretty much good after that. Didn't have any experiences, but then me and my husband, we were still married, but he had gotten orders to San Francisco, and my command moved. This was right when COVID happened. I was in this apartment for 8 months until we moved. I can remember the second time I had my experience with the hag. My husband was able to come down. They'd lifted up the restrictions. We were in bed one night. I woke up. I had a bright white light this time. It was on the side of my face. I felt her hands and her feet crawling across the bed. Like, it felt like tons every time they would hit. I couldn't move. She was on top of my chest. She put all of her weight on. I could hear this loud vacuum, like sucking sound with it. It felt like my soul was being sucked out of my body. I literally felt like my life was flashing before my eyes. I don't even remember falling to sleep back after that. I just remember I could still see everything and feel the weight on my chest. The hair was all in my face. I couldn't even see her face, but I could see her. Then I could see teeth. I could see white mist from me flowing into her, and I was like, this is so weird. That was my second experience with her. We only lived there for a couple months because I always felt that apartment had a really bad vibe. The way my room was set up was I had this big vanity next to the bathroom. After that, I could not sleep near the mirror. There's this big superstition, don't sleep next to mirrors. It's a portal. I had to move my bed. I really didn't have a way because I had the vanity, and then my closet doors were those closet doors that had mirrors on them. There wasn't much I could do, and I don't like to sleep with the doors open. I always feel like someone's looking in, and especially in that apartment, I always felt like somebody was looking in on me. Around the time, I would take my body and I would make a triangle with a pillow over my head, so if I woke up, I wouldn't see something directly if there was somebody in the room or if some spirit was watching me. I had went on deployment. My husband had moved into a new house, in a military house, and I got back from deployment in February 2022. Things were good. That's when I started to notice a month or so after, the house had a kind of a weird vibe to it. It's right next to here, next to all these bases, military bases. They bring a lot of negative energy. It's not anything intentional, it just happens. I always felt at the top of our stairs there was this dark mist, but it's nothing I've ever seen project or actually see form. But that's the only way I can describe this. It's this really dark mist, and it's sad and angry.
Sean's story continues right after this. Stay with us.
I wasn't the only one. I had talked to my friend. She had felt that too. I would always feel eyes on me in the house, but it wasn't like, I don't want you here. It was like, I need help in a way. But then there was also, sometimes there's that angry presence, like, I really don't want you here, but I can't tell you to leave. After so long, I was just like, whatever. I kept doing the pillow thing. I didn't want to see anything. I didn't even like being in the house by myself. I started hanging out with my best friend. Me and her, I'm talking, we were doing almost every day together. When we'd have people over, drinks would be flowing, and we'd be like, hey, no one's allowed to drive home. So she would stay over a lot. There was one night we had went out and came back. She was there sleeping on the couch. It's a recliner set, everything. There's no way she can fall off of this unless she actually threw herself off. She says that someone pulls her, full force pulls her. She's the only one downstairs. It's just her. She woke up, she looked around, thinking that someone's here. There's no one there. And she was like, I turned on the TV, I sat there until 5 o'clock in the morning, and I left immediately. She was so scared. Not too long after that, we had more people over one night. We're all sitting on the couch. It's me and two of our other friends. Everybody had already went to bed, and the doorbell starts ringing. My dog's going crazy. The doorbell starts ringing. I look outside. There's no one there. It's weird. My husband comes downstairs. He opens up the door. This is probably the worst thing he could have done. I think he let something in when he opened that door. He walks out, looks around, there's no one there. So, going back, goes to sleep, everything's fine. Not too long after that, stuff starts moving around our house, too. We had this, electric fly swatter. You get flies, crazy for some weird reason. It's probably just the heat. I remember there was one time I'm home alone by myself, sitting in the living room. It's a direct open shot that you can see from where our key rack is at, where that's hanging, to the living room. You can see it directly. That thing is swinging back and forth like someone had pushed it. I had not went in there at all that morning. I'm sitting there confused. No one else is home with me. I'm just watching it. I've recorded it and sent it to our group chat. I said, guys, I'm the only one home. I haven't even been in the kitchen this morning. Look at this. And everybody's like, oh, there's ghosts in the house. And me had been getting this feeling with the thing at the top of the stairs. Finally, I had was asking neighbors about stuff that's happened around. The way the neighborhood is set up, it's a big courtyard in the middle, 4 streets surrounding each other. On the other side of the courtyard, there was a man. He had murdered his wife, and he had left. I've heard 2 sets of the stories, but the one I read online, it said that he had kept her in a deep freezer for 2 years. He had said that she went missing. There was an incident in the courtyard where she had ran outside and said that she was cutting herself or something. That's what he was saying. These 2 years goes by. Everybody's where is she? They're asking him, where did she go? It's like, I think she just ran off. The day he's supposed to move out and move across the country, her body's found. He threw her body in the canal. The police had found her. They knew who she was because she'd been missing. They come to his house and everything, and they're like, hey, we found your wife. He already has a whole new fiance and everything. They're about to move. He goes, oh, that's crazy. Come to find out, he was the one who did it. They expedited him back here when all that had happened. It's not just one property. All the properties are connected with each other. Especially this courtyard is what keeps everybody connected too. I feel like maybe it was her spirit still asking for help in a way, or just being angry that she can't leave. She's stuck there. Even till the day that we moved out in November of 2023, I still felt really awkward and weird being in there by myself. I've just felt a heaviness of sadness and anger of not wanting to be there and needing the help. I don't think anybody else felt that but my friend. She was the only one that, when I spoke to her about this yesterday, she was like, no, I felt that too. At the top of your stairs, she said, I didn't like ever going upstairs unless you were up there because I felt like something was up there. It's crazy. I'm the only one that felt like that. But that was really that. Now we've moved to the other side in this brand new built place. I don't really get the vibe that something is here or anything like that, but it doesn't take long for something to show itself. So I've always been a believer. Ever since I've experienced more and more and more, it makes me start to realize there's more things out there.